Welcome back to the Before the Odds podcast. It's Derby season, so we're going to be putting out a lot of Derby content leading into the first Saturday of May. The UAE Derby is coming up. The Louisiana Derby is coming up. Some more prep races. And because of that, I'm going to talk some Derby trends. And what I like to do about picking my horse is following these trends that have been going on for the past couple years. Key races, coming off wins, and the point system that was created in 2012 that has made this race a lot more logical. And that's my style of handicapping. Whether it's the favorite or not, I like the logical things. I don't like 80-1 surprises. So let's get right into it. In 2012, they created a point system that makes the horses that the 20 horses that make the race, they really belong there. Because before this, you had 3-year-old horses running in races like a race today, the Hutchinson, or a sprint race down at Calder, if you remember Triniberg. And then they earn $200,000, and it's all off earnings and money earned to make the Kentucky Derby. So you have horses running in sprint races, then qualifying for the Kentucky Derby, running in a 1.25 mile race. And they have no business in that race. And they set up cheap speed on the lead and kind of, they don't belong there. So you want the horses that truly belong there. And the point system created a logical outcome. And I'm going to explain to you why. In 2013, 1 year after the point system was created, you had Orb win the Kentucky Derby as the 11-2 odds favorite. After that, 4 straight favorites won. And 6 out of the next 7 races, the favorite went on to win the Kentucky Derby. I don't mind that. Other people might not like it, but to me, I like the logical stuff. I like the best horse to win. So in 2013, you had Orb, 11-2 odds, coming off a win in the Florida Derby. In 2014, you have my favorite horse of all time, even named my dog after him, California Chrome, at 5-2 odds, winning the Santa Anita Derby. In 2015, Triple Crown winner American Pharoah wins the Arkansas Derby and goes in as the favorite, as the 3-1 favorite on Kentucky Derby Day, and he pulls off the win too. In 2016, another Florida Derby winner, which is key in this video and in the way I like to pick my horses, Nyquist goes into the Kentucky Derby as the favorite at 5-2 odds. In 2017, the streak was broke, but it still stayed logical. You had Always Dreaming at 9-2 odds. A winner of the Florida Derby goes on to win the Kentucky Derby. The favorite, I believe he was the third choice. The favorite that year was Classic Empire, a really good horse and a deserving favorite too. But still stayed logical with Always Dreaming taking it down. In 2018, Justify, really good horse, undefeated, 3-1 odds on Derby Day, wins the Santa Anita Derby and broke the Apollo Curse. The Apollo Curse is horses that are not run at 2 years old, have not won the Kentucky Derby since like the 1800s. And he broke that, but that was an amazing horse. That's a topic for another day, the Apollo Curse. But Justify took it down as the favorite. And then in 2019, the favorite crossed the line first. And this one's going to hurt Pick 5 Johnny because he was talking about this horse from the first day he raced. His maiden race was broke down at Gulfstream. He ended up winning the Florida Derby. He crossed the line first on the first Saturday of May, and that's Maximum Security. First in the Florida Derby, was taking down, went wide on the far turn, pushing some horses out, and he was DQ'd. And Country House was put up at 30-1. Country House came out of the Arkansas Derby with a 3rd place finish. And Maximum Security had a win coming out of the Florida Derby and was the Derby favorite. Key races coming out of. In 2020, Authentic. This is where it starts to change. 8-1 odds, but still a logical horse. Authentic wasn't hard to find. But this is that COVID year when the Kentucky Derby was ran later in the year. So if you don't know a lot about horse racing, the Derby's run in May. This year in COVID, everything was backwards. So he came out of a prep race, the Santa Anita Derby, finishing, I believe, 3rd. But his prep race for the Kentucky Derby was the summer stakes, a huge race over at Monmouth Park, the Haskell. But again, Authentic coming off a big win in the Haskell, then going on to win the Kentucky Derby. In 2021, he had Mandaloun coming out of the Louisiana Derby in a 4th place finish, another big prep race, but he did not cross the finish line first either. We had Medina Spirit, another Bob Baffert horse taken down for Bob Baffert reasons, and he got DQ'd after the fact. Finish line first, clean race, but did not come up clean in the drug test. Bob Baffert doing Bob Baffert things. Medina Spirit, coming out of the Santa Anita Derby before the Kentucky Derby, crossed the line first. She had a 2nd place finish in the Santa Anita Derby, another big prep race. Following my trend here. And in 2022, last year, you had 80-1 Rich Strike. If you had this horse, I don't know how you found him. I think pure luck. The horse didn't even make the top 20. I believe Dwayne Lucas scratched the horse, and this horse wasn't also entered. Lucky enough to make the field, but hey, he got out there and came running down the inside and won the Kentucky Derby. But behind him still stayed logical in Epicenter and Zandon. 2 really good horses that finish out with a really good 3-year-old season. So what I'm getting at is that since 2012, this point system was created, the Kentucky Derby has been very logical. To me, I don't think you need to think so far outside the box and search for these longer shot horses, for winning, for superfecta and trifectas. That's completely different. But we're talking winners of the Kentucky Derby. I like, in my picks for the Kentucky Derby, I like my horse coming out of these 3 prep races: the Florida Derby, the Santa Anita Derby, and the Arkansas Derby. To me, those are the key races that a horse should be coming out of going into the Kentucky Derby. I also like my pick to be coming off a winning one of those 3 prep races. If that horse does, most likely it'll be one of the 3 favorites, and I'm fine with that because on Derby Day, you got 20 horses. And do I want to take a favorite in that situation? No, but I told you I'm a logical player, and I probably had picked a horse like this earlier on. And it could be a single in a pick 5 or a pick 4 or a big double wager or a key and exacta. I just like the logical stuff. So when you're picking your Derby horse this year, maybe this video will help you out. Coming out of 3 key races: the Florida Derby, the Santa Anita Derby, and the Arkansas Derby, coming off a win and not missing any works. The point system works, and I'm so glad they put it in. If this video helps you pick your winner, please like and subscribe. And hey, your boy Big Willis, and I'm out. Keep following the podcast for more information like this. Thank you, guys.